going to do our own version here. We're going to do the comic book version. And this one, of course, like I mentioned, is going to be called Spec, Collect, Forget. Very, very, very popular game that is 2 weeks running right now. So we're still in the sort of the trial phase here, but this is where you guys in the chat, we're going to need your participation. We're going to need you guys to help here play along because there's no prizes necessarily. We could do prizes eventually, but I'm going to reveal 3 comic books. And Como is going to have to decide which of these books he's going to spec on, which in our instance is for the sake of the game is the fuck, which he's going to collect. He's going to marry that book, and which he's going to forget. He's going to kill that book. So it's really up to Como what he wants to do. Now, again, last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, Journo, he came at it from an approach that was very logical. He was very much like, yeah, this is, this book's going to get hot and blah, blah, blah.
You can see the gears spinning there on some of them.
You can do that. You're totally welcome to do that. But, the intent of the game here, I think, is also to sort of just learn about your own particular interests, what kind of books that you here like. Okay. So you're gonna let us know which ones you like. Let us close all the windows here so that we get this nice and clean and blah, 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 other books, who cares? All right, we're going to clean all the windows there. And you're going to let us know what you like. And then later on, once you make your picks, in the chat, we're going to weigh in on his picks here. Okay, you're going to put a 1 in the chat if you agree with Como's picks here. You're going to put a 2 in the chat if you disagree. Okay. So
bring on the hate,
just to get a sense. I mean, again, there's no wrong answer, but there will be judgment. There will definitely.
Oh yeah, I was in the chat. There were wrong answers. I'm pretty sure in the chat's eyes last time.
But there are no wrong answers because we're the only ones that have the microphone, and I'm not going to berate you. Although I probably will cut to clips that make fun of stuff. All right, so here we go, guys. Let us start us off. Here we go. I've added the curtains for dramatic effect here. Which makes me forget what the books are underneath because I didn't write them down for us. But
it's a surprise for everybody.
First up, we have a very, very, very special one for you, Como, here because I got a Rob Liefeld special just for you, sir. Okay. Spec, Collect, Forget. We got the greatest comic book ever written in the history of comic books. We got Youngblood #1. We got X-Force #4, the beautiful landscape comic book and third appearance of Deadpool. And we have everyone's favorite 1,000 billion copies printed, New Mutants 100. Spec, Collect, Forget. What do you say?
I'm going to need a minute here. And they're not even good Liefeld books. It's the best part.
This is round 1. We got to work.
We got to build into the good stuff.
Build in.
Okay, before we get into this, I got to tell you a game we literally used to play at the LCS I worked at. Was we used to hide a Liefeld book in the stack of comics we'd hand each other because nobody wanted to touch them. Oh, God. So it was just kind of a way to sneeze, you just kind of like, I don't want that. So yeah, we used to do that. No disrespect to Rob. It's just.
Yeah. It's a funny meme. I noticed that you made a joke about Rob, so I thought I had to make a nice Rob Liefeld slide for you here.
For sure. The problem with most of these is they're all extremely overprinted, and you can find them in a dollar bin pretty much anywhere. With that said, I think New Mutants 100 probably has the best spec value, just due to the X-Force. And if the world just goes completely off its rocker sometime, that book may see a little bit of a bump. And I think it's already probably a $10 or a $15 book.
I checked eBay recently. You can still find it for $5.
For $5? Okay.
I mean, well, plus shipping. So,
And then there's also a second print or some variant that's a white cover.
Yeah, there's some second and third printings, which actually go for more than the original printing.
As if we didn't have enough in the first printing. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with what Spider likes. So I would probably put a little bit of spec value on New Mutants 100.
Okay.
I think Youngblood might be worth collecting. I just can't see a lot of spec value in so many of those early image books because you can't buy a collection of modern books. It's not just chock full of image number ones. If anybody wants some, let me know. I've got plenty.
Yeah.
And then X-Force 4, I'd probably just forget.
Burn X-Force 4.
Yeah, out of all of those early X-Force books, that would not be one that I would go after.
All right. Well, there you go. So we're going to spec on New Mutants 100. We're going to collect Youngblood 1, the collector item, and we're going to burn that Landscape X-Force 4. Let me know what you guys think in the chat here. 1's in the chat if you agree with Como here. 2's in the chat if you think he got it wrong.
I think the Youngblood collectability just goes, if you're a Spawn fan, just the whole chapel aspect of that kind of plays into the Spawn part
right
too.
Yeah, there is that factor for sure. There is
more context. Sure. Don't hate me on the first round here.
Got to spec on that X-Force. That's what Eurex says here. All right, well, here they are coming in here. John with the 1, Bandu with the 1, Miguel with the 1, Bandu with the double 1, Eric Erect with the 2, double 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Why not 1, 1? All right, we got a lot of 1s for the most part. I think people are feeling it. You know, I mean, I think ultimately, no matter what, this is one of those lot of books that you would probably want to burn, no matter what.
Yeah. It's like, if my house catches on fire, I'm not grabbing the box that has those 3 books in it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on now here to the next round. Spec, collect, forget. Pull the curtain back. We got some story books here, some storyline books. We have Civil War #1, Secret Invasion #1, and Iron Man 225, which would be the first Armor Wars storybook.
Mm-hmm.
A couple storyline books here for you.
Yeah. I'm going to burn Secret Invasion 1 straight out of the gate.
Whoa.
Just because so much of what was important in that run doesn't actually happen in that book. Issue 3 is worth looking at. The New Avengers run is full of books that are more important to Secret Invasion than Secret Invasion 1. I would collect Civil War just because, well, it was going on when I kind of really got back into collecting. Particularly if you want to chase some of the ratio variants on that. The sketch variants for the Civil War run are awesome. I bought those all off the shelf and don't regret it at all. So I would spec on Armor Wars.
Okay.
I don't know that it's going to be a big bump. I think there's some better books out there for that, whether it's, the first Rhodey, first War Machine armor, things like that may be better. But
all right, well, that's definitely interesting. We're burning that Secret Invasion #1, guys, even though we have Secret Invasion coming in the MCU. My goodness.
Yeah, I would go after 3. Is it
1's
8?
in the chat. 2's in the chat. What do you guys think? Keep going.
I think 8, where Norman Osborn kind of fixes the problem, could be good, especially if we look like we're going to go down a Dark Avengers kind of road in the MCU. There's a lot of really great Secret Invasion cover homages, whether you're talking Mighty Avengers 16, which has that Avengers 16 cover swipe, which also has the first Secret Avengers. That could be a good Secret Invasion era book, but I really like New Avengers 20 was the #1 book in my last video. I think that's a good one.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't know if you guys are out there listening here, but let's see. 1's in the chat if you agree with Como here. 2's in the chat if you think his picks were wrong. Definitely interesting here. I mean, Civil War, for me, obviously, probably the story I personally enjoyed the most. But we got Secret Invasion and Armor Wars coming. Those books have definitely heated up recently.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got some 1s here. 1, 1, 1, bunch of 1s. We got 1, 2, 1, 2. 2, 2, 1. What's up, Cameron? Good to see you. So we have a kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah, there's some 2s in there.
60-40.
And don't get me wrong, I'm going to sell a bunch of Secret Invasion ones.
A flourish of 1s. A flourish of 1s all of a sudden.
There was a delay there.
Boosted your ratio.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all in good fun. All right. Well, here's where it starts to get hard, or maybe it doesn't start to get
Okay.
hard because maybe you have a very specific book that you like here. Now, I'm interested to hear what the chat thinks on this one because this was definitely chat. Let me know what your guys' picks are. But we have the third round here. We have Spec Collect Forget. We have Thor 337, New Mutants 87, and Uncanny X-Men 266. We're saying first Beta Ray Bill, first Cable, and first Gambit. Are we calling it first Gambit? I don't know what we're calling it, but for the sake of the show, we're going to call it first Gambit.
Okay. I would spec on 337. I would collect 266.
Back on 337. Okay.
And I would forget New Mutants 87.
Damn. No love for Liefeld here.
No. Reasoning here. Cable's already been, like, his movie moment has already come and gone in Deadpool, right?
Yeah.
That book was super cheap and is now, it's still 175, $200, right?
Yeah.
That ship's kind of already sailed. If Cable shows back up again, it's not like there's this whole new group of people that are instantly going to discover the Cable character. They've never seen him before, especially if they've been paying attention to any, like, I mean, Deadpool was a major hit, right? Like, people are taken by surprise there.
That's true, but let me just say this: like you were so quick to that New Mutants 87. It felt, and I feel like it looked a little something like this. Man, you just threw 87 off the Hell in the Cell, man.
All right, did you have one for all three of these books lined up, or did you just like he's gonna toss 87? I just know this.
Let me say, I had it. Okay, I'll answer with both. I had one for each one, but at the same time, I was like, I'm definitely clicking 87.
Side note: Mick Foley, one of the nicest, most intelligent human beings you'll ever meet.
Oh, really? Yeah, he seems like a great dude.
Great guy.
Well, just to reiterate here again, you got a lot of ones here. Definitely a lot of ones overall. 1, 2, but that's okay. Comic Uzi, what's going on, man? 1, 1. Lou, what's going on? 1. Sal, what's going on? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So definitely a lot of ones here. Definitely feeling your picks on this one.
Yay!
And I guess we're throwing 87 off the Hell in the Cell.
It had a good run.
All right, let's move on now to the next one here. And this one is also interesting. We had to switch it up a little bit. Okay, we had to switch it up. We had to do some indie flair here. Now, I'm not sure, obviously, I know you're a big Marvel collector because of the your goals and everything we talked about earlier. I'm not sure how big of an indie guy you are, but here's some interesting indie books. We're kind of talking about different levels. All right, we got Paper Girls #1. We got Department of Truth #1. And we have Jupiter's Legacy #1. So we got Paper Girls coming to a show, Department of Truth rumored to be coming to the show, and Jupiter's Legacy actually currently a show
on the TV now. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts here? Spec, Collect, Forget. Let us know in the chat your thoughts as well. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say.
Well, you just spec'd on a Paper Girls one, right?
I did pick up a Paper Girls one. Yes, I did find one.
I think for $15, that's a pretty smart move right now. You're not going to get hurt much at all, so that seems like a smart spec. The thing with Department of Truth, if I remember right, there were 8 million variants for it. So I'm not sure that the A cover is necessarily the one to go all in on. But I also hear it's a pretty good read, so that might be the one to collect.
I do have the trade. It was pretty good.
I got to a point where I was buying so many comics that I couldn't read them all, and actually reading comics got to seem like work. So I haven't read much of anything new in a really long time. So I'm literally judging these books by their cover and what I've heard about them.
Yeah.
Jupiter's Legacy, I feel like it's been out there long enough, and with the show going on now, I feel like that ship sailed already as well. So I burned that one. So I think you just drop them straight down. I think that works for me.
Okay. So collecting Department of Truth, Burning Jupiter's Legacy and Specking on Paper Girls. One's in the chat if you think Como got it right here. Two's in the chat if you think he got it wrong. It's not really my perspective of this. It's not important what I think, but I'll tell you this. I watched Jupiter's Legacy just a few nights ago, and I was not feeling that show. So
really,
that was my personal humble opinion.
I feel like people either like Miller or they dislike Miller. Like he's.
I mean, I like
thing, right?
I liked Civil War. I thought he did pretty great with that.
But that's him playing with somebody else's toys, though.
Oh, that's true. That's true. All right, Jay the Collector 1 here, Dirty 1, Carnival 2, Myth Lab. What's going on, man? 1, Jerry 1. We got a 1.
Oh, I got
quite a few ones here. Got quite a few ones, but what? You got a boo? Don't bet against Como. Trilogy says. 1. Don with the boo. Don with the boo. Feeling the Jupiter's Legacy. Maybe there's a boo to me because maybe you like Jupiter's Legacy.
Could be.
But overall, I'd say, generally speaking, everyone's kind of, I'd say it's like 85%. Very, very solid. People feeling that. I can't disagree with it. I mean, I got Department of Truth. I thought that was a great read.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it's just timing. You're not going to spec on a book after it's already on the air. At that point, it's already too late.
Unless you think that it's going to continue to grow, which I'll tell you right now from the show, I'm sus on that.
Yeah, and that's the point. It's like if we're this far in already and you haven't seen it on Good Morning America or something like that, it's probably not going to happen.
Right, exactly. All right, moving on now to the next one here. Very, very interesting one. Very excited to hear what you have to say on this one. Spec, Collect, Forget. Ooh. We have X-Men number 4, X Factor number 6, and Uncanny X-Men number 221. Of course, this is the first Omega Red, first Apocalypse, and first Mr. Sinister. Some X-Men villains in that sort of 80s and 90s Copper Age. What Spec, Collect, Forget? What are you guys thinking? Let me know in the chat what you guys think.
My money is always on X-Men 4. I gave a buddy of mine a hard time because he would have just piles of them in his $5 boxes. And for years, I'd go and just buy every one I found and take it over to my wall and sell it for $20.
Right.
So that book is one of my all-time favorites, but I also recognize that people my age that grew up with the X-Men cartoon, we love us some Omega Red. So 100% you got a spec on the X-Men 4 because in the event it ever, they ever actually do a legit Omega Red, not that weird guy that might have been in X3 that they kind of said or suggested might be Omega Red. Yeah, no, I don't know what the hell that was.
Okay. Omega Red. I mean, a lot of rumors that Omega Red showing up.
Yeah, I mean, especially the newsstand,
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that there was a newsstand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If that's good money if you can find one of those. I really like Apocalypse, but I can't burn 221, and I also can't double spec, so I'm going to have to go collect 221.
Collecting 221.
Sinister, just such a great villain, and if you collect it and it goes up in value, you can still sell it. So in a way, you can still kind of collect and spec.
Well, the rules of the game, you're taking that thing home, putting that wedding dress on it, and you're going to sleep in bed with it every night. Mm-hmm. Uncanny X-Men 221.
Divorce lawyers exist for a reason, bro.
Man, burning X Factor 6, guys. Burning Apocalypse, man. I think that Fox franchise. That Fox franchise just ruined that character. Let me know what you guys think. One's in the chat if you agree with Como's picks here. Twos if you think you got it wrong.
I think the problem with Apocalypse is they did the character so well in the cartoon. How are you going to live up to that in live action?
Yeah, that's true.
So I think just that, and maybe we'll have the same problem with Omega Red, but we haven't been proven wrong yet.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. A lot of ones overall. A lot of ones in the chat there. I'm pretty amazed. I think like people are just listening to your thought process, and it's just they're feeling your picks, and I feel like
I'm talking them through it. I'm bringing them into my corner.
I feel like you spitting right now is a little something like this.
Bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
That's just everybody's just feeling how you're spitting right now.
Feeling the flow, working it.
Absolutely. All right, let's go on now here. A couple other ones just to see more ones. JR with a 2, but that's okay. I mean, it's been like 90% here.
It's all good. 95%. I'm sure JR can defend why he disagrees.
No, absolutely. Cool. Yeah, look, I know what I would pick, and mine probably wouldn't be the same.
Hey, that's cool.
Let's move on now to the next rung here. And this one's a really interesting one. Again, a lot of people they always get on my case because I don't talk enough about DC. Okay, but we always got to throw it in a DC mix here. Yeah, DC. No, come on. I actually don't know what your feeling on DC books are if you're a big DC guy, but there's been some hot ones recently. We got Superman #4. We got Batman 436. We got Suicide Squad #1. Superman 4 is the first appearance of Bloodshot, right? Who is Idris Elba's character. We got Batman 436, first appearance of Tim Drake, right? Who eventually becomes Robin, who's actually been confirmed to show up in Titans. Suicide Squad #1, first Suicide Squad book, has some other first appearances, but I don't think those characters are showing up in the James Gunn film. But again, kind of all around that same Copper Age era, same kind of, dollarish price range. So I don't know. What do you think? Spec, Collect, Forget.
Oh man. Suicide Squad's tough for me just because I remember the ride up into the first movie and just how disappointing it was and how those books quickly fell out of favor in the market. The Batman book, no first appearance of any Robin is ever going to be Detective 38.
Right.
Period.
Right.
And then
Superman 4.
Yeah, what's that character's name again?
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport. I about said Bloodshot. I'm like, I know that's not it. Bloodsport. I think you got to collect the Batman book just because I'm a Batman guy.
Can't go wrong with the Batman run.
No. To answer your question, I'm not much of a DC guy, but I grew up on Burton Batman and occasional reruns of the 66. So I do collect Batman Rogues Gallery members' first appearances.
Okay.
And honestly, if I was going to gamble between the two, I'd go with the Suicide Squad just because I trust James Gunn.
So you're specking on Suicide Squad.
Yes.
Okay. And that means burning Bloodsport.
Yep.
Superman #4. One's in the chat if you think you got it right. Two's in the chat if you think you got it wrong. So it's really interesting because, I had done a video where I talked about like the go collect hot books and stuff. And these are a couple of books that had shown up, Superman 4 and Suicide Squad 1. And yeah, I don't know, like if Suicide Squad pops off, you never really know. I mean, this could be the winner book when it comes to wanting to own the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I mean, if Idris winds up stealing the show and like Bloodsport is awesome, I could be completely wrong. But I also know that's a book that's climbed up out of the dollar bins. And, I don't tend to go too crazy on the flavors of the week. In Suicide Squad, that's what, volume 3 or something of Suicide Squad. That run produced quite a few new characters, decent storyline. I feel like that if you have to gamble between the two, you've got a better shot to hit with the #1 where you've got more than one thing happening versus the Superman 4 where you're relying on one character.
Right.
Even if that one character is being portrayed by Idris Elba.
Gotcha. Suicide Squad, one more, a long-term book for sure. All right. Well, generally speaking, I feel like the people are feeling you. Super hot fire. They're definitely feeling your picks. They heard what you had to say, and they dropped this in the chat. Definitely feeling your flow right now. All right, let's go on now to the next batch here. And this one is going to be a good one. We're spicing it up, spicing back up, going back into the Marvel world. We got some Bronze Age goodness coming up. I think it is here. Spec, Collect, Forget. We got ASM 101, Marvel Spotlight 2, Tomb of Dracula 10. So that is first Morbius, first Werewolf by Night, first Blade. We talked about the Midnight Suns. We talked about Marvel in the horror world coming up. We've got some Bronze Age books here, first appearance of these characters. Spec, collect, or forget. What are you feeling?
Yeah. All right. It's serious now. I'm going to burn Spotlight too.
Yeah, I think a quick to that one. What are you thinking?
My thing there, yeah, it's first appearance. The cover is terrible. That is the worst depiction of a werewolf I've seen on a comic book cover ever. The other two, you've got Gil Kane covers that are great. I'm going to spec on Blade simply because I'm going to gamble my money on the lead character over a guy who's a supporting character that was given his own movie because the studio owned the rights to it.
Right.
I love Morbius, huge Spider-Man fan, one of my absolute favorite Spider-Man books, but I'm going to gamble with Blade.
All right. Well, you're going to marry Amazing Spider-Man 101, burning Marvel Spotlight 2, and Tomb of Dracula 10. You're going to spec on that, man. There was just no hesitation, for you when it came to burning the book. There was no hesitation. You were cold. You were calculated. It felt a little something like this.
If he throws him up on the other side, there's. Good God! That's it, he said.
I had to just rush in there
Yeah,
to
I
make sure
saw
that
you.
Werewolf by Night, Marvel Spotlight 2 was okay.
I didn't know you were an EMT.
Yeah, yeah. In this instance, I'm playing Terry Funk. Yeah, definitely ones in the chat, guys. You know the drill here. We got ones, we got Miguel's 2, we got some 1, big old 1, 1. Love it 1. Yeah, lots of ones here. Definitely feeling your picks. I can't blame you on this. I mean, Werewolf by Night is the only one that doesn't have a property coming up soon. So, of the horror characters, it felt like the right one to burn.
Yeah, Werewolf is just the guy that the thing happened in his book. We all know the name Werewolf by Night because Moon Knight showed up in his title. That's the only reason that we even say those words.
Yeah.
These days.
All right, coming on here to the next round. We're having a good one here. We got some Lady Love, I believe. We got some Spec, Collect, Forget, Marvel Spotlight 32, carrying on with the Bronze Age books here. Marvel Spotlight 32, She-Hulk #1, and Miss Marvel 18. So that is first appearance of Spider-Woman, first appearance of She-Hulk, and first appearance of Mystique. Spec, Collect, Forget. What are you feeling?
Okay.
Let me know in the chat too. What do you guys think?
Here's some inside baseball. I'm going to spec on Miss Marvel 18.
Oh, interesting. All right.
Black cover, high grade copies are tough. The other two books, there was a warehouse find back in the day where they were literally unopened cases of She-Hulk 1 and I think Spider-Woman 1. I don't think Spotlight 1 may have been in there. I can't remember for sure.
Wait, recently? A recent warehouse?
Years back. But the point being, you're talking books that sat in cases while all the other copies were circulating, being devalued and damaged. You had this entire stock of books that were just sitting there and are still in pristine, uncirculated condition. So, yes, She-Hulk #1 is a great book. That's what I'm going to collect. I would probably burn Spider-Woman here simply because Spider-Woman's another one of those characters where there's been a couple different ones, and you don't know which one's going to show up. Is it going to be is it Jessica that becomes Spider-Woman in Secret Wars? Is that going to be the version we get? Is it going to be this version? There's a couple different ways it could go, but I would suspect on the
keep talking about you guys. One's in the chat, two's in the chat. Break it down.
I would suspect if you check the census, you're going to find that Miss Marvel 18 is going to be probably the hardest to find in that 9.8, 9.6 range. I'm just kind of spitballing. Ooh, Carnival Hands is not digging
Carnival
at
Hands
all.
not feeling it. Trilogy, I feel like Trilogies is like, yeah, like, you know, what you're saying makes sense, but at the same time, I feel like Trilogy out there probably loves a certain character. Oh, we got 2 from Cameron, 2 from Jay to collect, Don with the 1, Vancouver the 1,
But
T-Rex with the 2, 1-2 Trilogy. Okay, more mix. We go keep explaining. Keep explaining. Yeah,
That's
totally
good.
fine. Totally fine.
Here's another thing. 5 years ago, I was buying copies, near mint copies of She-Hulk for $5 and $7 a piece.
Yeah.
You know, they were everywhere. I've made a ton of money on She-Hulk #1. Now, the biggest piece of junk copy I've got still, you know, I could have bought literally all of them I've ever bought for what I can sell that one for now. So there are tons of them out there. There's tons of them out there in good shape. And that book's already seen a big jump.
For sure.
At this point, I think Miss Marvel 18's probably not as primed for a significant value increase as Spotlight 32 does, but I think you've got a lot higher chance that Mystique is going to come out and maybe be taken a little more seriously and done a little better, particularly if you roll her into the Captain Marvel mythos, you know, the way it actually plays out in the comics with Rogue and everything. I feel like that has a better chance of hitting than Spider-Woman.
Definitely makes sense. Although I will say with Carnival's 2. I feel like his reaction was went a little something like this.
Into the cover, hooks the leg, the streak is over.
I feel like that was Carnival's. As soon as he saw what I'm assuming is the burn of Spider-Woman, he just was just wide-eyed.
Just does not compute.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, hey, this is the game. This is what makes it kind of fun. You know, it's a little bit opinion based, which is why, you know, we all have different tastes and interests. But really interesting points. I didn't actually know. I mean, you bring up a great point about the black cover. I would be interesting to hear some of those numbers about, how much population there is for high grades of that book. So interesting, you know, logical answer right there. All right, let's move on now to the next group. And this is going to be a really interesting one. This is one I'm really excited to hear you talk about. Okay, we're going to round out the Bronze Age here.
Now I'm worried.
Yeah, some big books. Spec, Collect, Forget. We got Werewolf by Night 32, Marvel Spotlight 5, and ASM 129. Some of the biggest Bronze Age books. We got first appearance of Moon Knight, first appearance of Ghost Rider, and first appearance of the Punisher. Spec, Collect, Forget. Chat, let us know what you think. But this is one, you know, we talked about these characters, these Midnight Suns coming up. Some hot books right here.
Yeah.
Punisher, always a hot book. What do you think?
All right. Throw an emoji in the chat if you saw Comic Tom's video he put out about a particular book that's on the wall right now, blowing up for no reason. He just put it out not too long ago. Anybody see that video?
I'm not sure I saw that one.
Okay, well, it was a segment of him and Jeff, the Golden Age guru. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about this book.
Oh, this is the one that we wanted to show off.
Yeah. So they were talking about how Marvel Spotlight #5 is taking off for no reason at all. Ghost Rider doesn't have a project coming up. Nothing's really been happening. And this book has been exploding for 18 months now. A 9.2 just sold for $18,000, which is a massive jump over its previous sale. As you can see, I just bought one. I bought this on Saturday.
Yeah, big book.
I bought this on Saturday. And if you want to know how stupid the comic market is right now, I paid the same money for this book on Saturday that I bought my Amazing Fantasy 15 for.
That's crazy.
That's how much the comic market has shifted in the last decade.
Yeah. I mean, it is really interesting to your point. It's like sometimes I look at these things like the ones that we know are coming, the gift horse and the mouse type, mouse type characters are like, their books are not as sometimes as valuable as some of these ones that it's just pure driven speculation or assumption that they're going to come. But really, really interesting. All right. Well, with that said, being that you have an 8.0 Spec Collect Forget, where are you dropping these things?
I'm going to spec on Spotlight 5, just because if it's already this hot with nothing going on, who knows what'll happen if there actually is there in at some point. Another thing, these picture frame Marvel books are a subset, like a nice little side quest collection some people do, and some of them are hard to find in high grade, particularly this guy with the black background, which makes this book in a 9.8 really, really tough. Just because, well, black sucks. We all know that. I mean, it's just every little crease pops on that Bronze Age black, which, you have a really great looking book, but it'll have lots of color breaks. As far as collect, I'd go with 129.
Okay.
Just
Gotta
because
get the Punisher.
One, I'm a Spider guy, so that makes sense. That Ramita cover is great. And besides the Punisher, you've got the Jackal. With all this Spider-Verse stuff happening, if the movies continue to be successful, which there's no indication that they won't be, it seems like a really easy leap to go into a clone saga of some sort at some point in time.
Yeah.
So I recently picked up a Spider-Man, a 92149, where the original clone saga kind of kicks off, and you've got the clone versus Spider-Man fight. Love that book. Jackal's first appearance, I don't know that that's going to be a huge boost, but it could happen. Stranger things have happened before.
Yeah.
As far as Werewolf by Night 32 goes, it's hot. It's going to stay hot. I've literally sold this book for $50 before.
All right.
It breaks my heart, but it was like right before the Warren Ellis took over the title, and you get the Mr. Knight?
Yeah.
Moon Knight, which is about the time the character really started to take off. Yeah, I sold a copy like a 5.0 for $50. So that book hurts my heart to look at still. But I feel like the market has been so far out ahead of it already that, yeah, there's probably still meat on the bone, especially if the show's really successful and all that. But I feel like it's already baked in a lot.
Oh, man. All right. Well, one's in the chat, guys. If you feel like, oh, I got it right here. Two's in the chat. If you think you got it wrong. He's burning that Moon Knight Werewolf by Night book, even though we know the show is coming. But you're right. Price memory is real. Price memory is real.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. We got a couple, we got some ones, early ones here, early ones.
Yeah,
Jerry with the 222s, but a lot of ones. Definitely a tough one here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one where you're gonna step on somebody's toes no matter what. There's just no way around it.
Absolutely. Let's see what else here. We got some ones. Yeah, overall, ones, twos. Well, I'd say for the most part, this one, two hard picks. You can't go wrong with this batch. So overall, I think people are generally feeling your thought process here.
Yeah, and I could make an argument anyway for any one of those books. Period.
Totally. All right. Well, let's go on now to the last group here. Oh, wait. No, not the last group. Almost the last group. We got a couple more, finishing off the Spec Collect Forget here. Spec Collect Forget. We did some Bronze Age. We had some fun there. Now we're going to switch over to some Silver Age.
All right.
Some hot books here. We got Silver Surfer number 3, Avengers number 8, and Fantastic Four number 49. Of course, Silver Surfer 3 being the first appearance of Mephisto here. We got Avengers number 8, first appearance of Kang the Conqueror. We got Fantastic Four 49, first appearance, full appearance of Galactus. Second appearance, I guess you would call it, of Silver Surfer. Mm-hmm. Spec, Collect, Forget. Some hot books all around. What do you feel?
Imagine how insane the price of 48 would be if it had 49's cover.
Oh my God.
Seriously, though.
Yeah, I almost, like, the thing is little sidebar before we get into your picks, like 49 is a book that I really want. Silver Surfer is one of my top three heroes that I love. But I actually, even though even though he's one of my favorite superheroes, I actually would rather have 49.
Oh yeah.
I just think that the cover is just so incredible.
It's so fantastic, pun intended.
Yeah, I know. I feel it too, guys. I feel it too. But let's find out.
I'm gonna burn Surfer 3.
Oh God, here it comes. You can't burn Mephisto. He's literally the devil.
He literally lives in fire.
He's in fire. But burning Silver Surfer number 3.
It's a good book. It's not the best book. It's probably the third book out of that series I would speculate on. I think 4 is the Head and Shoulders leader out of Surfer Volume 1. Issue 1, of course, is a classic. And then I think you get around to issue 3 being probably the third most desirable book out of that run. It's not that I don't believe in it. I just think right now that Kang is the better Spec. We've been talking about him. I've been gambling on Avengers 8 myself for a while. So I think Avengers 8 is the better Spec. But that could backfire pretty easily. Like
I'll pull it back.
Oh no, you can drop it.
Okay, all right, we're going Spec.
I'm just hedging my own pick here. If Kang winds up being more of just kind of a throwaway villain in Ant-Man 3, then I think obviously it's not going to live up to its potential, but with the time jump in Endgame, the Quantum Mania time, we're assuming there's going to be some time stuff there. You've got the TVA in Loki that's going to be featured. It kind of indicates that time manipulation is a direction we're heading in the Marvel Universe. And, Kang, Ramatut, Immortus, whatever you want to call him, is the central figure in all that. So now we've got a lot of indicators pointing towards Kang being important. So that's why I go with that. Fantastic Four 49 in itself wouldn't have been a bad Spec a few months ago, because now it's selling for what FF48 sold for 2 years ago, 3 years ago, which is great because it's an awesome cover and, deserved to be better valued than it was up until this point. So I think if you don't have a copy of FF49 in your collection, get one.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's awesome.
I feel the pressure. Okay, it's definitely high up there for me. It's higher there for me. One that it was on my wish list this year, but we'll see. I think I'll still, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out eventually. All right, one's in the chat if you guys agree with Como's books here. Two's in the chat if you think his picks are wrong. Who's your guy? Let me know the guy. All right. Yeah. Let's talk about this after. Find out some ones and twos in the chat here. All right, we got some early entries though before I actually asked the crowd here. We got a one here. We got a one from Alan. We got one from Miguel. We got one from Nowhere Bound. What's going on, man? We got one from Erect 62. Peter 11. Yeah, everyone's feeling your picks here. Picks. Frankly, I can't blame them. And guys, I own 2 of these books. I don't own 49, but maybe one day I will. But I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Kang. I love Kang. I think he's really cool. And definitely to your point, I think, I guess they could make him a one-off villain, but it doesn't seem like he's the type of character for that.
Yeah, the actor they picked up to portray him has the chops to be a long-term guy.
Yeah. All right, well, let's see here. More ones. You know what? Chat, again, feeling your picks, feeling you, and they just want to say this to you.
You're off the fucking chain.
All right, coming on here, last books to pick from for our game, Spec, Collect, Forget.
Alrighty.
We're going to finish off with a big one here. This is going to be interesting, okay? I think you guys are going to have some opinions, but it'll be interesting to think or hear what Como has to say here. But Spec, Collect, Forget, we got some grails on this one.
Cool.
We got Journey into Mystery 83, ASM number 1, and Tales of Suspense 39. First Thor, first Spider-Man run, second appearance, and first Iron Man. Spec, Collect, Forget, chat. Let us know what you think. Como, what are you feeling?
Oh boy, you're making it easy on me here.
Oh, easy. This guy knows. This guy knows what he wants. This guy has an opinion.
I'm gonna spec ASM 1.
Okay.
There is no bigger Marvel character than Spider-Man, and there has been no Marvel character bigger than Spider-Man in 50 years at this point. AF-15 is unreachable for most people now. I mean, a Blue Label AF-15 is going to be 5 figures, period. ASM 1 you can still pick up for 4 figures and it'd be a decent copy. Plus, I mean, who doesn't love J. Jonah Jameson? I mean,
that's true.
His first appearance, you gotta go for that.
Chameleon.
And the
right?
Chameleon and John Jameson, and not the first Daily Bugle though. Daily Bugle premieres in an issue of the Fantastic Four. Can't believe I'm saying this. I'm going to burn TOS 39.
Ooh, burning Iron Man.
The reason I say that, he's done, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's done, but he could just be your favorite character. I mean, I don't know.
Oh no,
you could come at this from a emotional standpoint.
It's a great book. I've had a couple different copies of it. I absolutely love it. But I think whereas JIM 83 has been undervalued for a long time, and it's finally, and TOS 39 was the same way. Of course, with Robert Downey Jr., masterfully portraying Tony Stark, it took off. I paid an obscenely low amount for my first TOS 39 because nobody gave a crap about it before the movies.
For sure.
The last JIM I saw looked like a dog ate it, and it was $1,500. And that's been a few years ago at this point.
Yeah.
And you've got Love and Thunder, you've got the Asgardians of the Galaxy, Thor's still in the mix, still going to be happening.
It's true.
I think it's going to continue on a steeper trajectory than TOS is at this point.
For sure. I just got to point out, nowhere bound here. Don't tell newbies. Shout out to Newbie Comics. Somewhere out there right now, he's doing this.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Just not feeling it. But hey,
I feel like that every morning when my alarm goes off.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I totally understand your picks. Hey, one's in the chat, guys. If you think Como got it right here, two's in the chat if you think you got it wrong. But let me throw out this to you. Yeah, we know we got Thor 4 coming up, but can you imagine 10 years from now when it's like we're doing Secret Wars and we have God Emperor Doom and everything's crazy, and the only hope is for Marvel to bring Robert Downey Jr. back into an event film, and he shows up and Iron Man comes back, which will obviously happen at some point in our lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, RDJ will need a paycheck at some point.
Yeah, but can you imagine what this book will do at that time when he comes back?
It'll be great. And honestly, I think you're going to see Tales of Suspense 39 continue to be a leading tier Silver Age book from now on. The Iron Man went from being, he was a main character, but he was like a B or a C level character.
Yeah.
In the big picture of the Marvel universe since forever. And by, the MCU being built on Iron Man's back, there's a whole new generation that is going to grow up with these movies, and Iron Man is going to be their guy. And they aren't making any more TOS 39s.
For sure. Let me ask you this. What did you guys in the chat weigh in on this too? Because I definitely agree with you that, Iron Man was like a B or C character for a long time before, maybe Civil War kind of turned it around in comic books for him as a character, or maybe it was before that. But would you make the argument that Thor was kind of B character too at that point?
Yeah, I mean, really up until the movies, my favorite Thor moment was a Frank Miller line, and it was literally about Captain America. So what's that say? When my favorite Thor moment was Captain America, or Frank Miller saying that Captain America had a voice that could command a god, and does. That was my big Thor moment, that Steve from Brooklyn can tell him what to do. So that definitely helps. And let's be honest, I laugh at my wife tells me stories sometimes. Somebody she works with loves Thor, loves Chris Hemsworth. So I feel like Thor is kind of in there for the ladies. That's
true.
It's like, that's how you get your wife or your girlfriend to go watch a Marvel movie. If she's not into like the actual stories and the characters, it's like, well, Chris Hemsworth is in it. Yeah.
My wife definitely loves herself some Chris Hemsworth for sure. But hey, it is what it is. That's why you're putting that ring on it.
Exactly.
Well, Como, I just got to say thank you, sir. You made it. You got through all the rounds. Spec, collect, forget. I'd say overall, people were really feeling your picks. I mean, I definitely was feeling your picks, and Don put it well here. Wow, 2 hours? How did that happen?
Wow, yeah.
I feel the same because, we've been going for almost about 2 hours. And we probably should wrap it up now, and probably a good time because, we got through our Spec, collect, forget game. I hope you guys out there in the chat enjoyed this game. Let me know your guys' thoughts too, especially, if you want to see other versions of it. I'm having a fun time playing this game with people. So I'd love to continue it if it's something that you guys enjoy watching.